The following program is a Greenlight Maine production being brought to you in part by Bangor Savings Bank.
It's the way life should be. Greenlight Maine, building Maine's economy. Greenlight Maine, start here, scale here, stay here. It's your Maine and mine, building Maine's economy, one dream at a time. It's the way life should be. Greenlight Maine.
Welcome to the season finale of Greenlight Maine. This has been an amazing season. We began with more than 50 companies, and we are now down to the top 3. They will share a prize package of $40,000 in cash. They are savvy, socially responsible, and are doing their part to build Maine's economy. Before we meet them, though, we have to meet our judges, and you may recognize them because they are big leaders across Maine and beyond. First, I'd like to welcome Sandra Klossmeyer from Bangor Savings Bank. Tell us about what you do there.
Thank you so much for having me. At Bangor Savings Bank, I'm the Senior Vice President and Director of Strategic Initiatives, which means I work on a lot of key projects and initiatives across the bank to really further our promise, which is all about helping our employees, customers, and communities thrive.
And you help us too because you're our premier partner. So thank you so much, Bangor Savings Bank. Next up, we have another sponsor, James Herbert from University of New England, and you are the president there.
I am the president of UNE and having a great time. UNE is Maine's largest private university. We have the only medical school, only dental school in the state, a lot of emphasis on health professions. We also have nationally ranked programs in marine science and emerging strengths in business, computer science, and other areas. We're very devoted to furthering Maine's workforce needs and supporting the economy.
Excellent. And rounding out the panel is someone I'd like to welcome back from last season and another partner, LL Bean, Bryson Hopkins.
Thank you. Great to be back. I am the Chief Merchandising Officer at LL Bean. Our goal is to build products that help and enable people to get outside and enjoy the restorative powers of being in the outdoors. It's a fantastic brand, and I'm really excited to learn about some of the innovations to the state of Maine. So thank you.
Excellent. All right, we're going to talk to you in just a few minutes. It's time for our first finalist. I'd like to welcome Finsulate with Bernard Hidier whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, I'm Bernard Hidier from Finsulate. The issue we're dealing with at Finsulate is actually marine fouling and anti-fouling paint. Marine fouling is the capacity that anything we put on water, ships or infrastructure, get actually cockles and mussels and seaweed to grow on them. This issue is as old as the world and has been dealt only up to now with toxic, inefficient and expensive paints. We're coming with an out of the paint box solution, which is a wrap. The big advantage of this wrap is at the end of the usage, we're able actually to steam it off and replace it and recycle it. Paint pollution is generated 20% in deep sea from anti-fouling paint, but in estuaries it can go up to 80% because boats are left there and shedding paint. Paint is plastic, so today the problem is actually plastic pollution and its contribution that we can reduce. It's not needing to be costly or punitive. Actually, people get back in the money after 2 or 3 years or 5 years maximum. That's why we warranty the product for 5 years total.
Excellent pitch. You are saving our waters one boat at a time. So thank you so much. Okay, Sandra, kick us off with the questions.
Yes, thank you. I love this idea, and I'm really curious about your key customer segment or your ideal customers.
Okay, so for the last 2 years, we've been working at raising awareness. The awareness of the magnitude of the problem. I think a lot of people in the maritime industry know it, but also the awareness that there's a market-ready product to address it. We've decided now to focus on the recreational boat, especially in the US, and the reason is because Northern America is 70% of this market, but also because these people, Gen X and millennials, are now more concerned about their environmental footprint. So the idea is they go to their shipyards after having contacted us and get the shipyards to talk to us. We can train people at the shipyards to become Finsulate installers. The big advantage for the shipyards is one side on the health and safety and I would say like the staff retention, because scraping and painting is not a nice job. The second advantage is they don't have to retreat the water when pressure washing the boats. It can go directly to the environment. EPA and DEP are satisfied with it. There's no cost of segregation and treatment of the paint. There's no paint, no PFAS, no chemicals, no solvent.
I like that, no scraping or painting. James.
So actually, speaking of scraping, I've spent many an hour scraping barnacles off of boats, and so I can relate to what a nasty job that is, as you said. So my question is, does the product does it increase friction, and does it cut down on a boat's maneuverability or its speed in the water?
Yes, so on displacement hulls, none at all. But if you're looking for an activity like motorboating and fast motorboating, water skiing, you're going to have friction. So this is a choice you would make for environmental reasons and for less maintenance and less work. But for all what is constantly moving boats, such as ferries, tugboats, but also like sailing boats, you have no problem at all.
Bryson.
Great. Well, I'm super pleased to hear the eradication of PFAS. That's been a main objective of ours at LL Bean over the last several years. So appreciate that you're doing your part. Can you tell me a little bit about why you picked Maine to headquarters and why is that important to Finsulate?
And Maine is the perfect setup. We have the sense of stewardship for the resource and the ocean, and we've got all these activities. We've got the sailing people coming for the recreation, vacation land activity, but they also feel responsible about the oyster production, the mussel production, and we've got another sector coming into frame, which is the offshore wind. We've got tests in Europe on offshore windmills, and we're able actually to protect assets and infrastructure at sea much better than any paint and no pollution to the environment.
Well, Maine is certainly lucky to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you're just going to do great things.
And thank you for the opportunity to again raise awareness and let people know that there's a solution, there's an alternative.
Of course. Okay, we're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsors, but when we come back, our second company is alleviating a burden for small businesses. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
At Bangor Savings Bank, we understand that to deliver the best banking experience possible, meeting people where they are matters. That's how we fulfill our fundamental promise that you matter more. We are more than just a bank. We are friends, neighbors, and tireless advocates for the communities we serve. Wherever our customers are in their financial journey, we are there with them every step of the way.
Whether you're a small business or a big business, whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, whether you're on the coast, in the city, a small town, wherever. If you're an organization here in Maine, if you want to innovate, and if you want to grow, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
Welcome back to the season finale of Greenlight Maine. Our next company is helping small businesses everywhere. I'd like to welcome Haley Lister and Max Mead from Alivo.
At Alivo, we are creating the world's first fully AI-powered sales team. In today's day and age, it is getting harder and harder for businesses, especially small businesses, to stand out against their competition. The way our system works is we've actually created a super simple all-in-one platform that helps businesses capture and convert leads entirely on autopilot. So our first product offering is actually using AI to respond, qualify, and book appointments for businesses directly on the owner's calendar. What really sets Alivo apart, though, is our approach. So while other systems are creating solutions that add more and more tasks to an already full business owner's plate, we kind of take the opposite approach. We're removing these tasks by automating entire processes so that business owners can kind of take a step back and focus on what really matters, which is their customers.
We sell Alivo to small and medium-sized home service-based businesses. These businesses are facing a massive challenge. They're competing directly against large corporations that are investing millions in automation, giving them a clear competitive advantage. We're bringing the latest AI technologies into the hands of the business owner, enabling them to remain competitive in an increasingly competitive market. But we're not just about improving sales processes. We're about creating an automated sales team that's trained on your most successful customer interactions, available to customers 24/7, and closing deals entirely commission-free. If we were to win the funds from Greenlight Maine, this would be a total game changer because we would be able to amplify our impact and how we're helping small and medium-sized businesses compete against the big players.
Well, you guys are a game changer, so awesome job, and you're going to help so many businesses. Sandra.
Thank you. I love the idea of helping small business really create a frictionless experience in their sales process. So knowing small businesses typically have especially small margins, I'm curious about your pricing strategy on this.
Yeah, so we actually sell based on lead volume. So we do have pricing packages that are available for those smaller businesses in what we call our salesperson tier. That salesperson tier starts at $3.99 a month, and then we have a sales department tier and a sales team tier depending on the level of lead volume that you currently have.
All right, James.
So I'm curious, does the chat identify itself as AI when the chat, or does it mimic a human AI? I know many companies do, and sometimes a problem is that you get a little far along and then you realize you're not talking to a human. And I wonder, does the system bounce out to a human, or does it announce itself it's AI and stay tuned, we'll get back with you? How do you handle that interface, which can be frustrating sometimes if you think you're talking to a human but you're really not?
Great question. So 2 parts there. First, yes, it does sound very similar to a human. So we're kind of avoiding the problem of speak to human representative, like the chatbot spiral, if you will, that is very, very common. But with your second question, the second somebody does want to speak to a human, we can call forward. So we can go directly to the business line, or we can, have them send responses like check the website, go to the email. Like there's a lot of different resources there. The goal here is to get 90% of these normal inquiries that are very automatable off of the business owner's plate, but then still be able to connect people to the business owner when needed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bryson.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what some of your customers say and if you've responded to some of the feedback that they've had after using your program.
Absolutely. So customer feedback is really centric to all of our operations, especially our product development. So we've had customers suggest many different features within the system, and luckily both Haley and myself are technical co-founders, which has enabled us to turn around and build those features for our customers right away.
You guys have a ton of experience. You rocked it. I just can't wait to see what happens down in the future. Thank you so, so much. We have to take a quick break. Our next company is from the healthcare sector, and you're going to want to see this. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fame is out of hand and so many successes.
To have people in your corners is really helpful.
When they say, hey, we believe in this, it's a real boost to confidence.
Fame works for Maine, helping create a bright economic future.
It's about helping Maine grow.
At Northeast Delta Dental, we love to see people smile. And as the leading provider of quality dental coverage for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we're committed to helping entire communities smile. Whether it's through education, supporting our veterans, or giving and volunteering, we're helping to make our communities even stronger. Learn more about Northeast Delta Dental at nedelta.com. We think you'll find a lot to smile about.
Welcome back to the season finale of Greenlight Maine. Our next company is highly innovative and making great strides with Parkinson's disease. I'd like to welcome Bronwyn Bridges from PragmaClin.
Hi there, my name is Bronwyn Bridges and I am the CEO and co-founder of PragmaClin. I am also a PhD researcher in the Parkinson's space, and this is my best friend, Gord. Gord was an avid runner his entire life until his 50s, where he noticed gait and slowness occurring. Sadly, Gord is not alone and his story is not unique. There's currently 10 million Parkinson's patients worldwide and the number continues to double. The biggest problem we see is subjective diagnosis and patients only receiving one appointment per year. So we created PragmaClin and our flagship software, PRIMS. PRIMS is a clinical decision support tool that is able to provide real-time motion capture assessments from within the clinic. We do this with a system that is able to prompt a patient through a series of tests that are an international standard in clinical practice. This assessment is then able to show comprehensive, accessible data and notifications for our clinicians, patients, and other stakeholders. We're making sure that truly no patient is left behind. We want to increase the scope of general practitioners who are not comfortable with the diagnostic and assessment process, but also that improve the inter-rater reliability between neurologists across the globe. So with this software, you can see trends, history over time, and also with our algorithms, be alerted to rapidly changing symptoms through those. From this, we can increase the individualized patient experience. We've then added in a survey. This is a tool that is used for patients and caregivers from home. They're better able to track and manage on a regular basis between those long appointment time waits that they can show all of the cognitive, sleep, impairments, and more. This puts a full spectrum report together for really truly in creating that connected clinical practice. We can have physio, general practitioners, and more understand how that patient is doing. For us, we're looking to grow and scale globally. And why Maine? The reason for us here is actually that we love that it's rural and remote. It continues to be a beacon place for us where we can then scale and show that we can improve the accessibility by having our systems placed in clinics that don't have this practice. So for us, we're looking to hit every corner of the globe and make sure that no patient is left behind, but we're starting here in Maine. So thank you, and welcome to PragmaClin, where the future of movement care starts at home.
I can only imagine so many people watching. You are giving them hope, so thank you. Okay, Sandra, kick us off.
Thank you. I'm curious, healthcare is such a complex industry. I'm curious what your go-to-market strategy is, or to bring this really impactful software, to those organizations.
So for us, it's actually getting in there and creating that one-to-one individual relationship. There's only one system per clinic per hospital, and from there they're able to do massive amounts of assessments. It's starting with Parkinson's, but knowing the global market is so big through MS, Huntington's, stroke, that we can really scale out to. So part of the strategy is getting into movement clinics, showing how this can work in so many different disease ways, and then showing them that they can scale it in their clinic, have a revenue model from that, and actually increase the efficiency and actual overall feedback from a patient experience as well.
Nice answer. James.
Well, you actually touched on my question a little bit, but maybe you could elaborate. Well, your focus so far has been Parkinson's, it sounds like, but I could think of a lot of other movement disorders and even things like tardive dyskinesia, and so I'm wondering, have you already started working on those? Is the product ready for other things beyond Parkinson's? Do you start with a known Parkinson's diagnosis and then take it from there, or are you looking at differential diagnosis, for example, as part of the product?
For us, we did start with Parkinson's just because it was our expertise area, but once we started having those customer relationships with neurologists, realizing that we wanted to scale, we wanted to capture another disease, we made what we call a plug-and-play model where we can move around tests, we can add, we can take away, so it is adaptable to that clinical practice for us, and so with that we can scale into those. And we've also had a lot of patients come and say, I don't have Parkinson's, but I have X, Y, and Z, can I test? And so part of our usability studies in the beginning, we actually had patients who had PSP, we had Huntington's disease, and so we've really seen essential tremors is quite frequent as well, and started to do the discovery on what the next needed disease is in these clinical spaces, understanding that movement disorders as an umbrella are seen and not just Parkinson's. So we're looking forward to capturing a much bigger market than just Parkinson's.
All right, we have to do one quick question, a short answer.
I'm ready.
Okay. Over time, I think it's awesome that you're able to track a patient's symptoms. How do you protect their data privacy in the medical space?
Absolutely. We use data privacy is incredibly important, and so from day one we created this database server that is housed, is all compliant, HIPAA compliant. We've worked with clinical practitioners to make sure that any data in and out is safely used, but we actually also don't store any types of identifiable video, faces, things like that, and so we pull raw data, and that's how we've built out our algorithms and will continue to do so.
HIPAA is so important. Thank you so much. We have to take a short break. We'll be right back in here from our judges, so don't go away. Come on.
Albin, Randall, and Bennett, committed to providing accounting solutions to Greenlight Maine startups, working with businesses and organizations that operate locally and nationally. ARBCPA.com.
With so many Medicare options, it can be confusing. At Martin's Point, we make your Medicare choices easy. Our all-in-one Medicare plans cover doctor's visits, hospital stays, and prescription drugs, dental, vision, and eyewear, fitness and wellness reimbursements, with premiums and copays as low as $0. As one of the highest-rated Medicare Advantage plans in New England, you can feel confident you're covered. Call or visit us online today to request your free Medicare Made Simple guide.
We're back with the season finale of Greenlight Maine and moments away from finding out who will take home the top prize. But first, our judges are going to deliberate. Let's start with Finsulate, only because he pitched first.
You know, environmental degradation is a top issue, and especially near and dear to Mainers' hearts. So the idea that you know, Finsulate is bringing this very innovative material, you know, it's sustainable and can also serve industries here in Maine, I think is incredibly impactful.
Perfect.
I completely agree. I think there's a real tie to Maine, both the sustainability piece, but also with the blue economy and the growth of the blue economy and our ocean industries and, of course, vacation land, recreation as well. So I see this as something that, and I really think this could scale nationally, and having a company focused on this product based here in Maine could be really elevate the state's profile in this space. So I was very impressed.
Bryson.
Super passionate about sustainability, and I think Finsulate really went after a problem that needed to be solved, and I love their approach and how innovative the solution is, and I agree, I think it is could go into other things beyond recreational boats that gives it some scalability that is attractive, particularly to save our oceans.
Well said. Okay, Alivo.
So Alivo I found really, really intriguing and compelling. Also, small business is really the heart of Maine, and so finding ways to make their jobs easier, especially in the sales side of their business, so they can go back to what they're passionate about and why they started that small business in the first place, I think is incredibly important. I also think that the thoughtfulness on the tech side to ensure that systems are in place to ensure the AI models are really steering those business models to clear sales and connections, I think is really very neat. I was also very impressed.
Once again, I agree. I think that what struck me were two things. One was the focus on small businesses. Again, a big need in Maine. We have a lot of entrepreneurial efforts on small businesses. The other is the fact that they're using large language models. So it would be a much more natural speech, not so clunky as you see some of these chatbots that you have to interact with. And I was also impressed with the technical expertise of the team and their ability to refine the product over time, move into other areas.
A lot of experience. Okay, Bryson.
Well, I was impressed by their overall presentation as how they discussed their business and their plan and ideation to execution. So I had a lot of confidence in them as a team. And I also think anything that is using AI in a user-friendly way that is accessible and adaptable to people is just going to be great, because it's going to be such a big part of our lives going forward. So these simple ways to use it in something of like home repair, I think is quite practical.
Useful tool. Okay, rounding out with PragmaClin.
So PragmaClin and the PRIM software was truly innovative to me and really focused in on a need in healthcare. The presenter's passion and experience in that was brought a lot of confidence to me, but equally so her focus on data privacy and regulation and the process I found brought a lot of confidence.
So what I was impressed by was a big problem in diagnosis and medical diagnosis is inter-rater reliability, so the consistency between assessors, as well as the validity of ratings, how they relate to some other outcome. And automating this in the way that they're talking of doing in the movement disorder space, I think is very important. And so I think that could add value. I'd like to learn a little bit more about the value proposition, beyond the reliability piece. There were a few things that weren't entirely clear to me, but overall, very exciting product.
Nice. Bryson.
I love the space and it being addressed particularly for people who are in very vulnerable situations that can't get the diagnosis that they need or the assessment that they need. I think they have a really interesting way to approach that. It feels like it may still have a way to go to really understand what direction they want to take it in, and I was less clear about the scalability of it, but really empathize with the mission that they're trying to accomplish.
Excellent. Thank you all. Very thoughtful comments. We're going to give you a couple more minutes, and then we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you how this plays out. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Right into the lens, okay. Famous brands, rugged quality, and the best values anywhere.
This is where you start your future, where you find the skills you need to succeed and the support to help you on the way, where you will find the power of innovation and creativity, and the challenges to help you grow. Find a beautiful environment and a community that inspires, where you can turn your passion into your profession. This is where you start your life. This is where you belong. Thomas College.
Welcome back to the season finale. The entire season has come down to this moment. We are about to give away $40,000 in cash for these bright companies to invest in their future. But first, we would like to thank our premier partner, Bangor Savings Bank, Maine Technology Institute, University of New England, LL Bean, and all of our other sponsors. Okay, here we go. Bryson, I'm going to start with you. For third place in $5,000, it's PragmaClin. For second place in $10,000, Alivo. And that means our top prize for $25,000 goes to Finsulate USA. Congratulations to all of you. You all deserve so much more than that. Well, that's all the time that we have today. We'd like to thank Chilton Furniture for this beautiful set. And if you would like to be a contestant, you can check out all the information on our website at greenlightmaine.com. We'll be back next week with our other series, Elevating Voices, where we share inspirational journeys of diversity-owned businesses in Maine. That's going to do it. Have a safe and successful week. Congratulations.
Greenlight Maine would like to thank our premier partner, Bangor Savings Bank, our corporate partners, and our sponsors. Thank you.